are here. Dragon and Garstag and his bros are on Moronon, which is a Thunderhawk. You're welcome. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Drew it myself. There's definitely not Space Marines in this picture. So they're flying along, and then they land on a planet called Najin. Najin. Gonna go with Najin. And all the bros, we'll start with little battle bro. He goes off this way. Lido goes over there. Slut fucks off down there. Vorks just sort of wanders around. Dragon goes that way. And Garstag kind of goes that way. They're all going their little ways. They're having a great time. They're gonna go do some plundering. And then we follow Dragon. Okay, we follow Dragon. Dragon has found a building with a woman in it. Oh my god. And he shoots everyone. All the humans dead. And this lady is like, rah! And then Dragon, like, lifts her up by the neck, and she says, "You need to leave!" And Dragon is confused. He's like, "Get out?" She's like, "Get out!" And then he growls and says, "Call for help, kitten." And then he kills her. I just want you to know, when I read that bit and he said, "Call for help," when he said that, when she was like, "Get out," and he was laughing and like growling, I had to add the kitten into it because it was just like, it was the tingly type of conversation, you know? It was like, oh, you know?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And then Dragon talks into the Vox to Slut. He's like in the little Vox thing. He's like over there. And Dragon's like, "Yo, Slut, you found anything worth?" And Slut's like, "There's a garrison, mate. It's full of little soldiers. Let's go over there, bud." It's Slut. Look at this little guy running around doing little Slut things. Whee. Good guy, Slut. We like Slut. He's just a little bit creepy. So Slut's just sort of hanging around. And slowly, his battle bros appear. And Slut is a bioengineer kind of guy. And he has lots of things in his arsenal. Which include being able to melt a rusty hole in the wall of the fortress, garrison, barracks, place. So he just climbs in. He just enters. And he's having a grand old time. And then we're going to imagine that this is now the inside of the garrison. And, oh my god. And Slurt's like, "What the fuck was that?" Do you know what the fuck that was? Because we can go there next. Pachow! Oh my god, it's Io and Matchard! In a crawler! Matchard is just permanently saying shit. He's just like, shit, 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 shit. And he's like got his foot all the way down. He's just speeding through. And then Io's like, "What the fuck was that? What were they? They were disgusting. They were all like stinky and shit." And then Matchard's just like, shit, 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 shit. So these two are on their way to overload the weather station at Node 1, which is just outside the garrison barracks bit. So the biosphere will start to degrade. I did miss out a big bit in the book earlier that sort of describes the planet of Najin and how like agri-worlds work. So basically, they just terraform it to be super flat, and then they bring in loads of chemicals, and then they build all these, like, node towers to control the weather. So it only rains when they want it to rain, and it's on, like, a schedule. Like, weather doesn't exist, really, anymore. It's basically giant sprinklers. And this is the node pylon that they're going to. And then, boom! The thump on the roof. Oh no! What's happening? And Io's like, what's that? And Matchard is like, shit, 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 shit. I don't fucking know. Shit, shit, shit. He's got a great vocabulary on him. And then all of a sudden, the rear window shatters. And in comes a little lord. Woo! And he attacks Matchard, and he's like, nyam, 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 nyam. And then Io grabs it, chucks it out the window. So that one's gone now. And she's like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? And then Matchard is like, right? And then he slumps over. He's dead. So now Io is like, ooh, drop the keyboard. Now Io is like, damn, I'm gonna have to start driving. What the fuck? And then there's a little lord in the footwell, and she's like, ah, disgusting. And she stomps on it. And then, oh no, what is this? There's loads of them. She's being overrun. Meow, meow, meow. And it crashes. Oh no. And she gets out, and she's like, oh, the pylon, run, 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 run. And she can hear giggling noises. And she's trying to ignore them. And she has this surge of euphoria swelling up within her. She feels the warmth of the interior of her face and stumbles inside the node. It's absolutely impossible that they should be waiting for her. There's no way in, no gaps, no chance of gnawing through that blast shielding. It's a secure chamber designed to a standard Imperial template and utterly impregnable. Her mind is refusing to believe that all these little lords are inside of the pylon. And obviously she gets eaten. Very quickly. They're having a great time. The little lords are having a great time. They're like permanently happy. They see nothing wrong with what is happening. You know what I mean? And then we go and see Dantine. We should probably hide this guy. Is it set to unwarp? Unwarps your warp. Nurgle employees express the most job satisfaction? Absolutely. They're never unhappy. They're always happy. Necron pylon. It's the only type of pylon that I knew how to draw. It was basically like the Eiffel Tower, but with a beacon on top. I mean, I know the Eiffel Tower has a beacon on top, but like, you know what I mean? So Dantine is still in the command center, in the garrison, sorry. He has about 30 militarium guys behind some overturned tables trying to take cover. And they're having the shit beat out of them. There is one battle bro in the vicinity, and they shot him a lot, and he fell over. But then he just got back up again, so they're kind of like, what the fuck is happening? What is this? And they start singing. They start chanting, because they don't know what else to do, and they're scared. Holy throne of earth, in faith we are preserved. Across the whole of space, no shameful thought, no unclean deed obscures the glory of our race. And while they're chanting, the battle bro is getting closer, and he starts just cleaving through them very easily. And then he gets to Dantine. And Dantine has a knife at this point, And he tries to jump at the battle bro. We know that it's Vorks because it says Vorks on his nameplate, but like Dantine doesn't know it's Vorks. So Dantine jumps on Vorks with his knife, and Vorks catches him in his claw and just sort of laughs at him. He just sort of chuckles. And Dantine's like, kill me then, you big son of a bitch. And Vorks is like, no, not you. And then it fades to black. And that's the end of chapter 7. By the way, I also stream painting Warhammer on Twitch and have a Discord. Now on with the book. Chapter 8. We're on Najan, and Garstag comes out of his little wherever he was staying. He comes out. And he comes out to watch the sunrise. Because he has this little tradition that every planet he helps conquer, he always waits to see the sunrise the next day. And then he sees Cledo in a field with a queue of servitors queuing up for him. I didn't draw the servitors, sorry. But they're queuing up for Cledo, and Cledo has a big bloody needle, and some of the bodies of the servitors are like dismembered with like bits missing and stuff. And Cledo's just slowly working through the line of servitors, just like doing shit to them, because he's a spooky little guy.
Why, God, why?
If you can remember back in like chapter 3 when he did that to an Iron Shades, then you'll know he's a spooky little guy. So Garstag sees him, and he's like, we shouldn't be anywhere near here. We should have followed the despoiler out of Cadia. And Cledo's just like, okay, bud. That's it. That's the whole interaction. It's basically Garstag being like, why are we here? Cledo's like, I don't fucking know. We just follow the Siege Master. And then Garstag's like, maybe we shouldn't have. And then Cledo's like, alright, bud. That's it. That's the whole thing. And then we return to Dantine. This is on Vorks' ship. As you can see, it is called Vorks' jail. And Dantine isn't having a great time. His chest hurts for some reason. He had dreams. He wanted to bang Io, the lady who got eaten by the Little Lords. He liked her. And then he had a dream that something was cutting him. He felt something being excised and dragged out of him. He heard voices, terrible voices, speaking through sputum in a language he does not understand. And then he fell asleep again. And then he wakes up. And he throws up. There we go. He's woken up. And then he is thrown up. There we go. He's thrown up. Good job, bud. You're a stinky boy. And he also seems to have shat himself. At some point in his sleep. He can hear things, and it's a bit spooky, and he's not really a guy to get spooked, but he's a little spooked. Vorks enters. Woo! I am named Vorks. Oh, he gives him a glass of water as well, so now Dantine is hydrated. Which is nice. And Vorks says, I am named Vorks, Siege Master of the 14th Legion, called the Death Guard. You're on the ship Solace, in the care of the Lords of Silence. What is your name? I should have done a voice. Okay, hang on. Vox is gonna have a voice, Dantine is not gonna have a voice, because he's a little guy. I am named Vox, Siege Master of the 14th Legion, called the Death Guard. You are on the ship Solace, in the care of the Lords of Silence. What is your name? Captain Gavel Dantine, Najan Station Resident Defense Force. Why Dajan? No matter. Every man must have his secrets. Because Dantine didn't want to tell him what happened. Where was the Defense Force? And the Space Marines? Dunno. The white consoles, the beacon's down, astropaths are dead, skies are bleeding. And then Vaux is like, oh, the white consoles, they sound pretty honourable. And then they have a kind of nice conversation about the spectrum of humanity. And that Vaux is actually still a human, and Dantine is still currently kind of a human. And then Dantine's like, what do you mean, kind of? And then Vaux is like, well, listen here, in my pouch, I've got a little thing. It's a heart. Dantine's like, what the fuck is that, mine, bro? And Vaux is like, yup. And then he leaves. That's the end of chapter 8. Thank you. Like and subscribe.